Technology is definitely coming into seniors' homes and in senior living communities, and there's a lot of new products coming out. One of them is something called Lively. Well, the website is lively.com. Or is it mylively.com or lively.com?
Mylively.com.
Mylively.com. Yeah. And I'm here with David Glickman and Iggy Fanlo. They're two of the three co-founders of the company. So tell me a little bit about mylively.com and what you're doing and what it does.
You go. Sounds great. Yeah. Well, I'll dive in. I mean, what we're really focused on is helping people live as independently as possible for as long as possible. And so independence can take on a variety of means, whether it's living in your own home, living in some sort of senior community. And in doing so, what we really felt was there weren't very, very simple solutions, very elegant solutions, and very cost-effective solutions to have people living independently share a little bit about their daily living. So and many in our industry know the term activities of daily living. So is my loved one or someone in my community taking their medication? Are they getting out of the house? Are they being active? If there's a fall that occurs, are they able to get help as quickly as possible? Those are the types of things that we're trying to address in a really elegant solution in which it's a hub that goes inside the home, and that home can be, again, someone's independent home within a senior living community. It literally just plugs into the wall, doesn't require any internet access, no setup required. You plug it in, it turns on, and it starts communicating with the internet through a cellular connection. So nobody has to set anything up. And then we have sensors that go on objects in the home. So one that goes on the refrigerator, this one goes on a pillbox, and what we're doing is measuring the motion of those objects. And in addition, we have just released our first of several different emergency response systems or sensors that also communicate with this. Our first one is a next generation fall detection pendant that has a button, fall detection, compliance, so it knows if someone is actually wearing the pendant, which is a very important part of it, as well as some fitness aspects of it.
And how does this differ from earlier generations of similar kind of home monitoring systems?
Yeah, so the other remote monitoring systems, when we looked in the marketplace, they were very expensive. They were $500 to $1,000 up front and anywhere from $40 to $75 a month. We are radically lower. We're actually only $39. And
up front?
$39 up front and $24.95 a month.
You're too cheap.
Well, we hope so. As a person told us once, we are a Tesla for the cost of a Buick. So it's incredibly cost effective. You can tell by the lines, the beauty. This is the same industrial designer who developed the Nest and the Roku. So we've got world-class design, and that's different. I mean, we've heard folks call it the triple Bs for most senior products: big, beige, and boring. And we thought, you know what? Whether you're 8 or you're 88, you can still appreciate beautiful things. And so let's give them something beautiful. The third thing was simplicity, and Dave talked a lot about that, about the setup. We've had 90-year-olds set it up in under 5 minutes by themselves, no help from anyone else. And then finally, the social connection piece. I think that's lost a lot of times in our description of it, and a lot of times when technology, that there's almost an isolation epidemic occurring with elders in America and probably globally. And so we really feel that let's find a simple way to kind of close the loop, because the elder is going to be sharing data on their activities of daily living and on their emergencies with the PERS device. Let's close the loop and let the family share back to the elder. And we've done it with LivelyGram here. So there's photographs and messages. A lot of people have dubbed this Facebook or Instagram for seniors.
And the way that works...
how does a LivelyGram work?
Yeah, so what we really did and what we do with everything we've designed is technology is great, but it's only as good as what makes sense for each person who's using it. So for family members who want to share photos with their loved ones, they're on a smartphone. They might be using Facebook or Instagram, especially if it's grandkids or nieces and nephews.
My kids.
Your kids, my kids. So there's an app, and you can go and you can upload a picture right from Instagram or from your camera roll. And then what we do as Lively...
And it comes to you.
What happens is...
They send it to you.
They send it to us as Lively. And then every 2 weeks, we compile those photos from the loved ones and print this out. This is where the technology meets, in this case, Cheryl, who's the elder. All Cheryl needs to know is how to use her U.S. mailbox. That is literally it. This comes in a bright orange envelope. This comes twice per month. And she now feels more connected and has more context for the next time that her grandchild calls, and she can say, oh, tell me more about your ski trip, or tell me more about your swim meet or your soccer match.
Do you get the names of all the grandchildren and children so you can kind of prompt them? I mean, they might forget to send these things.
Yes, so you can, it says here, Cheryl, with contributions from Angela, Jean, and Tyler. So those are the family members or friends who contributed. And they all get invited by the family. And actually, we have many senior living communities that are already using Lively, and they will assist in inviting family members to participate. They get invited, and then you're right. We send them reminders. We say, hey, we're about to publish Grandma's Livelygram.
Okay.
Make sure you contribute because your loved ones might be contributing, and you want to make sure you get your pictures in.
Right. Yeah. No, that, I mean, you'd have to do that because otherwise it'd be tough to fill that twice a month.
Yeah. And what it does is it really, and this is truly coming from users who have been using the product already, which is it changes the experience of what Lively is about. It's not just about sharing activities of daily living. It's now about the connection that I get with my family. So when I see Lively, first off, I see something that's elegant, not big, beige, and boring. But also when I see it, it reminds me, oh, you know what, my next Livelygram is coming. Mm-hmm. And then the last thing I would say is, especially in senior living communities, this is wonderful when we go and visit them when they have Lively deployed. You literally go into the dining area day after or the day of Livelygram coming out, and it becomes the social piece that you see in the lunchroom passing around.
Yeah,
it's got this virality.
It's gotten to the point where the #1 customer service request we get on the calls and emails is, when is my next Livelygram?
Now, on the monitoring, who, in your experience so far, who is the receiver? Who is monitoring it?
Well, this is a really great. So there's two ways to go with this. You can have the family members or the administrator, the eldest daughter typically is monitoring it on their smartphone or on the web. But we've also had this great success with Safety Net and essentially home care agencies or even independent living facilities that are extending back upstream, where they're saying we have facilities here in the community and we want to start providing services back to the home, much like Brookdale at Home, where they're saying we can take our services that we have in a facility and bring them to the home. What these folks have done, have taken this great technology and wrapped that last mile of human services around it. So what we like to say is if you're a sandwich parent and your mom lives far away and you're worried sick about this and that, you now have the Lively system, you have the Lively PERS device, the emergency response system. We provide a 24/7 call center, and then Brookdale at Home, Home Instead, and a variety of others are providing that last mile, so if there's an alert or something, they haven't taken their meds, they can send someone out, check up on them. Now you have a complete wrap solution at an extremely cost-effective price.
Great. Now, who are you marketing to more? The retirement communities, the large companies, the Brookdale Senior Livings, or people in their home?
So great question, and can share some exciting news on one of those fronts. First off, we are making this available and marketing directly to the elder children, because part of the design here was a very consumer-friendly experience, and to your point earlier, the price point,
and
families
it's cheap
can afford
and it's
it.
easy.
Yeah, cheap, easy, elegant, and with the Livelygram piece has that connection. So this is available on our website. It's available on Amazon. It'll be available in a couple different retailers this summer, starting this summer, and that's important. And really, from day one, we've said, let's design this as a consumer product, but we always knew that it had real applicability within the senior living community and in the home care community. So we work directly with Home Instead and other home care organizations. And then in addition, as we both have mentioned earlier, we've actually already had this deployed in many senior living communities. And so we work directly with them. And we're also excited to say that we just launched a partnership with Care Innovations. They saw what we were doing with Lively. And some might say, oh, well, these are competitive products. And they and ourselves really see Lively providing them with even more opportunity to bring services directly to the senior living communities, healthcare, hospital organizations, and others that they cater to. So they will actually be a partner of ours now, bringing Lively into all the different people that they talk to with the reach that a GE and an Intel has.
Now, last question. You're graduating from the generator program. What's the next step? What do you do in terms of, that's one strategic partnership. What do you do in terms of capital raising, taking it to the next level.
Well, we've raised already $7 million of capital in 2 rounds, and have just world-class investors who've been in deals like Zulily and eBay and a bunch of others. So we're very fortunate there, and have world-class advisors and board members. In fact, Laura Carstensen, who runs the Center of Longevity at Stanford University, founder of it, she's only sat on 1 private board in her life, and that's Lively. So we've been very, very fortunate. I will tease a little bit in saying that in Q4 we're going to be coming out with a completely blockbuster PERS device. It's going to blockbuster PERS, the button, the emergency response device. And I noticed on your wrist is this watch. And if you showed it to those folks, the form factor is going to be almost identical to that. So you're going to be wearing something just like that. And it'll be a watch, it'll be a pill reminder, it'll be all these things. It'll look just as beautiful as that, something you might have bought at a jewelry store. And all you're going to need to do is touch the sides with that much force, and it'll send the signal to your hub or to your smartphone, and that's an emergency response.
Interesting.
So it's going to completely change the marketplace. We think the young old, the boomers, the up-and-coming boomers, the 65 to 80, who really probably aren't thinking about a PERS device, but they might be a little worried if they're living alone. Holy crow, if I can buy a piece like that, and you get the whole system now for $49, just $10 extra, that's pretty attractive.
Ooh, that's really gonna break my wallet. No, I don't know how you're keeping the cost down. I mean, I think it almost makes it sound like, why is it so inexpensive? And people are gonna think they're not getting something for it, but you obviously can prove that they are, and keeping that cost like that, to me, becomes almost a no-brainer.
Well, we can't afford jackets, so
yeah, we can't afford jackets.
We really keep in cost.
And part of it is, if you look at a lot of the technology in this space, it's usually been built 5 to even 10 years ago. And when you look at, for instance, the technology we're using in sensors, it's pretty commoditized product. So we've just been smart and kind of taken our experience from building other companies in Silicon Valley in the past, and tried to just do things in a very cost-effective way, and then create services around that in the form of the monthly subscription that comes with the product.
All right, well, that sounds great. It sounds like you're on your way. Can't wait to see the rollout in Q4.
Yeah, it's really fun times. It's really fun times.
Good. Yeah, there'll be a lot of change. All right, well, thanks for sitting down.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Really appreciate hearing about it.
Okay.
Thank you.